Mark White is our Home and Security Editor. A shooting in Paris. Tell us more.
Yeah, 2 people, we're told, have died and at least 4 others have been injured in a shooting in central Paris. It's in the 10th arrondissement near Gare du Nord railway station. We're told that the epicentre of this gun attack was a Kurdish cultural centre in that area. There is a very significant security operation now underway, as you would imagine, in that area. The latest we've been told from prosecutors in Paris is that a suspect, a 69-year-old man, has been arrested at the scene, and the incident as such, in terms of the wider threat, is over, that they have managed to contain it. But, of course, at this time of the year, there is always a heightened sense of concern about the potential for terrorist attacks.
I was going to say, is it terror-linked?
We just don't know what the motive is at this stage, but it will, of course, be uppermost in the minds of the security services as they try to figure out exactly what happened. Not just, of course, in Paris, other European countries, the UK as well. The public are being told to be extra vigilant at this time of year because Islamist extremists in particular are out looking, as we know, to cause as much mayhem as possible.
A lot of people out and about because it's Christmas. It's also, of course, a very important Christian festival. So that could be a target for Muslim extremists.
When you get, exactly at this time of year as well, mass gatherings, and we know, of course, it is sites where people gather in numbers that makes them an attractive target as far as terrorists are concerned. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves because we don't know what the motivation was behind this. We just know it was a gun attack, that a 69-year-old man, according to prosecutors, is in custody. The immediate threat has been dealt with. But, of course, as the investigators piece together exactly what's happened, they'll want to know, was this a one-off? Could there be others involved in potential linked attacks? Because we've seen with other terrorist attacks that you get linked attacks that take place in short order. So people on alert in Paris at the moment. The authorities are telling them to avoid that central area of Paris while they deal with this incident.
Danny Kelly's with me. Danny, it's the worst thing for any major city at this time, if potentially a terror attack or a gunman on the loose.
Yeah, I think it's natural that we do have to rather rule in until it's ruled out Islamic terrorism. We have the hallmarks of a Kurdish, which is an Islamic faith, a Kurdish faith centre. We have a shooting spree. I think it's natural, and I think for a lot of people listening to the radio and watching the television, I think that uppermost in their mind, it will be a case of ruling it out before it's ruled in, or vice versa, ruled in before it's ruled out. It's a frightening time, isn't it? Because it is a Christian festival, it is Christmas, and of course, don't forget, I think it was about 10 years ago, you had that terrible Charlie Hebdo atrocity where these 2 maniacs ran loose in Paris with AK-47s, just wiping out anyone that came in front of their midst. It's a frightening time sometimes, you know, to be in a city centre at Christmas.
It's certainly. Just finally, Mark, I didn't ask you, what's happened to the gunman?
He's in custody at the moment. He'll be questioned. I should add, you know, we're talking about Islamist extremism. There is also a threat from the far right. It's a growing threat, but it is very small in comparison to the threat that the security services across Europe deal with on a daily basis from Islamist extremism.
We've got scenes here of Paris now with the emergency services.
So this is the area in 10th arrondissement at the moment. What you can see are the paramedics from the fire service and the ambulance service in France, because, of course, their fire service actually take on paramedic duties as well. And we've seen just in the last few minutes or so some people being taken away. Now, the reports are suggesting that at least 4 people on top of the 2 fatalities have been injured, and some of those critically injured. But this will come out in the fullness of time. It's still very much an active situation, even though the police are suggesting that the wider threat they believe they now have under control. But it is still, you know, as a very active crime scene there. They think that all the casualties have been obviously accounted for and taken off to hospital. But you can see the the French security service personnel still there on scene.
All right.
They don't know if there's a wider threat, which is the real problem.
That's Mark White, who's our Home and Security editor. We'll be hearing more from him now.